Okay, this has been a long break. Don't worry, there has been reasons to this long break. SubhanAllah, it's been a crazy journey since we started this project. The project's done now, that we're stepping into the new phase of this project. This project being this podcast. What started off as a self-reflection podcast has taken me down a road I would have never have imagined, and I'm grateful to every listener, to everyone that watches these videos. I know we're not the biggest podcast at the moment, but the messages that you guys have DM'd me and sent me and commented below these videos, and also the snippets that have gone quite viral on Instagram and TikTok, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that has supported me, and just taking any benefit from these videos. I just want everyone to know that any benefit that I've done from these videos, or any benefit that I may have brought to you through these videos, I don't own any of the. It's not me that's helped you. It's always any good that you've got from any of these videos. All the good has came from Allah. Any mistakes I've made have came from myself. But any good you've received, any blessings that you've received, or like something that, again, anything in a positive light that you've received from any of these videos, all of that belongs to Allah. That was Allah reaching you. It wasn't me. I'm just the vessel. I'm just someone that's trying to do something, but the things that have resonated with you and have helped you out in whatever way in your life, that is 100% entirely, all of that goes to Allah. So I just want to start off by starting off the new year by, again, everyone knowing where the barakah comes from in everything, and that goes for your lives as well. But enough of that. Alhamdulillah, man. It's been a crazy journey for me. Again, and I just want the best things to happen for this new year, and I can't wait for you to see the plans I've got for this podcast, where we're gonna take it, and just everything really. Subhanallah, like I'm just so excited for this year. Obviously, again, as I always say, this podcast is sponsored by Human Appeal. I want to thank Human Appeal for making a lot of this possible. So any benefit that you've received from these videos, again, you have to thank Human Appeal, because I don't think I would have been able to continue with all these videos if it was not for their support and their help. So again, big shout out to Human Appeal, and I'm looking forward to the work we're going to do in this year and through the years without. Which brings me into, funnily enough, the topic of this video. So again, the first video of the year, I think, would just be, it's important for us to address the mindset of what I'm going into 2023 with. 2023 will be my MJ year, by the way, because, again, shout out to Michael Jordan. But yeah, on a more serious note, 2023, I think the reason why it's going to be such a big year for me, maybe it's not. Maybe it's the year something terrible happens to me. But I think it's how 2022 ended for me. I think that's, again, what part of the reasons why there was a big break in content creation was because I was dealing with some stuff in my life that I didn't want to talk about at when it was going on, essentially. But I'll say one of the things that happened at the end of my year, but it definitely propelled me on to really realigning me with what I wanted to do in 2023. So for some of you that do know, my uncle, who was very dear to me, he was a very close member of the family, he passed away, and his last words to me that really stuck with me, again, they really just sometimes people say things, and sometimes they can say it even in passing, and they don't really pay attention to the words they've said. They just say something to you like, "Oh, so and so," and whatever the words is, whatever the advice is, it really sticks with you. And sometimes it's not even advice. Sometimes it's what they're just saying. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. Death really shows you who you really are. When coming face to face with death, it shows you who you truly are. And in those last days with my uncle, he said something to me, and we was talking about obviously coming to terms with the fact that he was passing. And he said he just wanted more time so he could give back to charity, and so he could learn more about his deen. And it stuck with me because that is all this is. I think he summarized this world, our journey as Muslims. He summarized it in just that small sentence to me. And again, when he said it, it was like it was passing. It wasn't really advice he was saying to me. He just said it as like a passing comment. And to this day, it sticks with me. And I remember in that moment, obviously he didn't get to stay that long with us after. I think he passed maybe 2 weeks after that. And then I feel like, again, maybe that purpose for him, that journey for him, it wasn't for him. Again, may Allah forgive him for everything that he's done. But I felt like I took it upon myself at that moment. I said, okay, cool. I'm going to do what it is that I'm going to act out that kind of final request. I'm going to dedicate my life to charity and learning more about my deen and learning more about Allah. And again, I'm going to make mistakes. I sin all the time. It's something I battle with constantly. I'm sure most of you do. My sins are probably a little bit worse than yours, but I think that's what the purpose of them words resonating with me is, because I think some of us think that we have a lot longer on this earth than we actually do. I know none of you are probably planning on dying this week, but it could be the reality for some. For someone close to you, could be even your time. I feel like we always think death is for the other people. It's for those people over there. It's for the person on the news. It's for the kids in Yemen. It's for the kids in Palestine. It's for the people in Palestine. It's whoever it's for, but it's never for us. We never actually believe that death one day will come to our door and say, it's your time. We think we have more time than we do. And again, just seeing my uncle in that state in the last bit of his life, and again, it was I was just looking at him and I was like, wow, that's gonna be me one day. And he's telling me, he says, if he had more time on this earth, he would give it all to charity, and he'd focus more about his deen, because that is what this life is all about. He summarized it perfectly. That's what it's about. So I said to myself, I'm going to start acting like I have stage 4 cancer, because in reality, I don't know how long I have left. Funnily enough, within that short period of time when he was deteriorating and returning back to Allah, it was in the span of, it was very fast. It encompassed about 4 weeks, maybe like a month, or maybe like a month. How many people died within that month? Again, someone close to me, to my mother, like passed away within those 4 weeks. We never knew that she was going to pass away within those 4 weeks. We all assumed that the person that was told they had stage 4 cancer, we all looked at him and we was all, that's upsetting, because you're going to be the next one to die. Who told you that you was going to survive within that month? I could have easily on the way to the hospital had a car crash and died before him. But that's the thing, we think we have more time than we do. And again, not to be morbid, we don't know when our time is going to be called. And that was it for me when he's telling me he just wants to focus on charity and learning more about his deen. And I just said, subhanAllah, that's what I'm going to do then. This work that I'm doing, this podcast, I'm always going to make sure it's assigned to a charity. Even the poetry, I'm always going to make sure poetry books is somehow tied to a charity. And then in my own personal time, I'm going to start reading more. I'm going to start praying more. I'm going to start doing more dhikr, because I don't know when Allah is going to call my number. So the best thing I can do is just act like any day I can die. And even the philosophers have said this for years, countless of years, people that aren't even Muslim, because it also allows you to live a better life. The philosophers call it memento mori, which is, I think it's Greek, for like to remember death, to meditate on death. Funnily enough, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ advises to do that as well. And it's not in a morbid way. It's not like death and very like down and depressing and melancholy. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. It's actually a beautiful reflection. I don't want to go too much into, again, what happened around, like, again, in regards to like mine and my uncle's last words, and how I don't want to go into all that, because again, I want to keep that bit for me and him. But it's not it just reminded me that death is not I wasn't upset, I wasn't sad that he went. If in a weird way, I was like, wow, like you've gone back to Allah. And I know how good of a man he was as well, so I wasn't worried about where he was going or etc. But like, my thing was like, oh wow, you're returning to Allah. Like, again, that beautiful reunion. Again, death isn't this thing we're meant to be afraid of. It's just something we have to prepare for. That's it. We don't have to be afraid of death. It's just something we have to prepare for. And if you're prepared for it, then again, you have nothing to fear. So again, especially for the young audience that follow me as well, and again, young, when I say young, again, could be 18, 20, however the ages are, start to get your affairs in order. Again, yeah, I'm not saying you have to leave your job and become a scholar, and I'm not saying that, but the work that you can do, you just need to increase in it a bit more. The 5 prayers, if you're praying the 5 prayers, alhamdulillah, perfect. Do a bit more. Always strive for more within this deen, because you strive for more in this dunya, you do. And again, once you've got a certain amount of dunya, we never just say, oh, I'm content. We always strive for more, and nothing's wrong with striving for more in this dunya. Let me get that straight. Nothing is wrong about wanting more in this dunya. The only problem is if it consumes you, like when they say, Allah, put the dunya in my hands but don't put it in my heart, because the heart is reserved for Allah. Because Allah can put the dunya in our hands, and He can put as much of the dunya in our hands as He wants. Just keep your heart reserved for Allah. So don't let it consume you, this pursuit for the dunya. But yeah, so that's just, don't let it consume you. Don't let that be your main focus in this world. Make sure you're always striving in your deen and your Islam as well. Because I know there's a lot of content out there, and again, I'm not bashing it at all, which is encouraging young men to be making money, becoming a high value male. And these are all fine. These are all worthy pursuits to go after. Yes, you should be striving to become a better man. Yes, you should be striving to make more money. This is fine. This is absolutely fine. But don't forget that one day you are going to die. And the main thing when Allah turns to you and asks you certain questions is not going to be whether you was a high value male or not. It's going to be, what good did you leave on this earth? What was your relationship like with the prayer? How many hearts did you touch? How many hearts did you affect? How many people's lives did you change? How many lives did you improve? What good did you do on this earth? Because like I've said in the previous video, it's about being a good person. It's about having good character. That is what Allah is going to focus on, not if you was a high value male or not. Now, like I said, you can focus on, again, you can still make these pursuits in your mind. Again, I'm striving to make more money. I'm striving to do this. Again, it's all fine. Just don't forget what we really should be striving for in this world. Yeah, and I feel, again, and if a lot of you are like me as well, I think we just waste too much time. We waste too much time watching Netflix. We waste too much time playing video games. We waste way too much time just going after things that don't bring us contentment. Yeah. They just don't bring us. It doesn't bring us peace. We waste time on things that don't bring us peace, when I think deep down in our hearts, in our heart of hearts, we all know the answer. This deen, Allah, the remembrance of Allah, those are the only things that are ever really gonna give us that thing we're looking for in this world. Yet we still delay that pursuit towards Allah until a later date, because we think we just always assume, we just assume that death will never come for us. We assume that, again, that's for other people. SubhanAllah, this is it's crazy, man. And again, I know that maybe I know it sounds like I'm starting 2023 with like a quite morbid tone, but SubhanAllah, again, like talking about this, etc. For me, it's like this is something that really inspires me and motivates me. I don't know. Again, death has never been like a morbid thing to me. Maybe when you're comfortable with the idea of death, it kind of loses the fear factor a little bit. There's been many times in my life when I thought, yeah, this is it. This is the end, whether it be illness or whatever. And I just thought, I was like, okay, this is me. This is me about to meet Allah. And I think once you like kind of have that dance with death a few times, it loses its fear factor, and it always acts as a reminder, serves as a reminder to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to die one day. And once you really embody that reality that, yep, there will be a day that the Grim Reaper comes for me. And once you get comfortable with that reality, then it's just, again, it's just about preparation. It's just about preparing. And even just reflecting on it. And then it can act as a form of inspiration and motivation. Okay, I don't have that much time here. Let me start acting on something. Let me start giving back to the world. Let me start bettering myself. All these things, again, because we don't have that much time. So again, don't waste the short time you do have watching Netflix. Don't waste the short time you do have chasing girls. That one was for me more than anyone else. Don't waste your time doing these things that, again, are not going to bring you that true happiness and true contentment that you're looking for. Again, in the wise words of my uncle, again, let's just focus on giving back to the world, giving back to charity, and just learning more about our deen and getting closer to Allah, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters in this life. So anyone watching this video, I ask that you make a dua for my uncle, that Allah grants him Jannah Firdaus, and that Allah forgives him, and that Allah blesses him, and that my mother, myself and my family, we can all reunite with him in Jannah as well. So Ameen Ya Rab. But I ask that all of you, again, if you've made it this far through the video, I ask that you make dua for my uncle. And yeah, thank you for being a part of this community and being a part of this journey with me. And again, I know a lot of you have told me that you've been benefiting from these videos a lot. So SubhanAllah, like, again, I don't really see any end to these videos. Again, especially with the podcast as well. These self-reflections and the podcast that I'm starting with guests, because, again, I think people will benefit from me inviting guests on and the people I'm surrounded by as well. So, again, anything I can do to benefit you lot. And again, and in return, it benefits me as well. I enjoy doing this as well. So, SubhanAllah. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to 2023. Hopefully I don't die. Hopefully I've got a long life ahead of me so I can continue to do this good work. And Allah make me sincere as well. Yeah, I think that's the thing as well. Sincerity plays a big part. But anyway, I want to stop talking now. I literally can feel myself about to start waffling. I'm getting better at catching when I'm waffling. Subhanallah. But yeah, thank you for following me on this journey. Let's see where this thing goes. Let's build this community. And yeah, assalamu alaikum. I'll see you on the next episode. Assalamu alaikum.